Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Yeah, my name is Miano. So today I want to react to a guy by the name of Pendo Brian, and ni Peddo Brian. Kama hujasikia N usishughulikie sana. Anyway, I have an N and a M problem. So now Pendo Brian has a very amazing project. He has been sharing it on TikTok, and I like the way and he approaches building his house, which is almost similar na mine, but kidogo tu some few stuff kando kando, but his approach is so amazing. So nilipoona that journey nikasema I will share it to you and perhaps you may learn something. Okay, so let's see.
Following me, you know I'm currently in the process of building a 3-bedroom for less than 1.6 million. Inside Shamal is a walling, and we've spent about 410,000 so far. That is the cost of everything so far, including labor and transport. In this series, we're going to be breaking down zile places mtu hupoteza pesa and how to save money during construction.
So do you guys think it's achievable, 1.6 million? Huh? Do you guys think it's achievable? For me, yeah, it's achievable because I'm doing my 2-bedroom with about 700 to 800. But sahi tuko 365. The last update I did after putting windows, tujaeka plaster, tujafanya vitu mingi. But do you guys think what Kenya ana share is possible? Yeah.
The first thing you'll notice in the comment section is many self-proclaimed experts wakisema hiyo nyumba ina chuma na ina columns. If you've ever built anything ama any expert, then you know. The choice of materials during construction is heavily dependent on location and the type of soil. In my case, the only place nitanunua chuma is when we are doing the tie beam, which is the next step. If you're doing a structure in a place with red soil,
tie beam ni rintel beam. Tie beam ndo ile rintel ile ya pale juu.
or maram like I am, then there are ways of doing a cheaper foundation without compromising the structural integrity. If you've ever built anything ama any expert, then you know. The choice of materials during construction is heavily dependent on location and the type of soil. In my case, the only place nitanunua chuma is when we are doing the tie beam, which is the next step. If you're doing a structure in a place with red soil or maram like I am, then there are ways of doing a cheaper foundation without compromising the structural integrity of your building. There are also many types of foundation depending on the type of soil, and the goal is to work with someone who will help you spend the least amount of money without compromising the structural integrity of your building.
Very key. Please, even if you are cutting costs down, please do not cut corners. Okay, cut costs, not corners. So always remember you have to have a the structural integrity of your building is top notch. So always it's good to have 2 or 3 opinions before doing something and do some research, which is awesome.
In fact, if you're building in places like Kajiado and some parts of Kikuyu, you can even do a cheaper foundation than mine. A good example is a rubble strip foundation where you can use stones and rocks from your site, and some foundations can even be done with very little sand and cement, meaning the only major cost you'll incur is labor. But of course, these are things many contractors will.
So this, I had seen this poster initially in his TikTok, and when I saw the post in his TikTok initially, nilicheki ni mtu alikuwa amepatiwa like a quotation ya kujenga. Now, one thing, sitaki kutetea contractors, but one thing you should realize about contractors is that wako biashara pia, and they have their markups na wako na markups zao. So the idea is not really fighting contractors, but the idea is kama unaona contractors wanakugonga do mingi na wana make a lot of money, the idea is to do research. By the building code si kitu complicated if you really take your time and run something new, and if you are willing to run, you can do a self build. You be the contractor, you being the contractor. So one thing that Pendo is really unafaa kurealize na mtu kama mimi ama mtu kama Pendo is that we are the contractors of our own houses. So cost ya contractor, it's done. So kama ni materials, we are the ones sourcing. Kama ni nini, kila kitu ni si tuna determine. Hata kama we are not professionals in this field, we seek advice. Kama pangu, Pendo sijui kama ufanye hivyo, but for me I seek advice, but with the research and the way ana detail his stuff, it seems ana seek that research and that ana dig more, which is awesome. So guys, if you, the best way to save cost, number one, and doing your own build, being the contractor yourself.
Not tell you about because wanatafuta kula wanaweza kukulia pesa. If you also choose to do a single level structure like mine, then you can do away with columns, especially if your house is small, and there are patterns you can incorporate with the stones when you're doing the walling, kama hizo design naona tumeka kwa madirisha na milango, and this especially if your house is pesa. If you also choose to do a single level structure like mine, then you can do away with columns, especially if your house is small, and there are patterns you can incorporate with the stones when you're doing the walling, kama hizo design naona tumeka kwa madirisha na milango.
Very true, guys. Very true, very true. I want also to add on that. Hii story ya columns, it's na chuma, it's overrated. Nyumba za zamani ziko zinajengwa na chuma, especially mingi, especially single level houses. Na there are people I know wamejenga hao bila chuma, hata za one floor, 2 floors, depending on your architect and the type of soil. Kitu unafaa kujua ni hata tukisema mambo ya chuma, mimi foundation yangu niliweka chuma, guys, because my type of soil is black cotton soil. Ile mbaya kwanza, because kabla hata tufikie mara ilikuanga yani you dig, so una dig deep sana. So guys, always remember that ukinunua shamba, especially kama ni hizi za 50 by 100 watu wanauziwa, whatever unanunua shamba, please, kama ni ya kujenga, you do yourself so much good kukosa kununua ya black cotton. You would rather pay a higher price ya red soil kuliko ya black cotton, because what happens with black cotton, it will challenge you. No matter how you approach it, no matter uambie kuna suspended foundation, no matter what foundation utaweka, the challenge utapata si yenye mtu wa red soil utapata. So it's good to know that.
And this, other than umaridadi, will also improve the strength of your walls. The number one place people lose money during construction, especially when you're not there, ni kuwekewa chuma imaginary. This is going to be the most expensive things in most constructions.
Very true, very true.
Kama uko hapo watakuwekea imaginary, and since you can't demolish your house to confirm whether they used them ama hakutumia, you'll find someone 80 or 3 or 400,000 ya chuma na hii kitu utawaijua. And unless you're building a multi-level house or you're building in a place with poor soil kama black cotton, that house will never collapse, because most houses are built this way for thousands of years, and
Very
some of them still remain standing to this day. The main thing you want to look at is the type of soil, and you should be fully aware of how this is going to impact your construction costs when it comes to building. For our foundation, we did a 2-foot trench, and we were fortunate enough to lifikia maram after about 1 foot.
So the good thing about red soil is that unaweza fikia mara mapema. Hata black soil zingine places kama Kajiado, na which amesema na huko Runga nimezicheki, unapatanga madam unaifikia after 1 foot of black soil. So it depends, but kumbuka pia hata ukifikia nini yako ka black soil lazima ukatoe hata kama ni 1 foot, which is a lot of money ku backfill. So unapata the difference ni ndogo, but places zenye ziko 1 foot 2 foot black soil is not such a big challenge by the guys. It's still a challenge but not a big challenge. Hata to see demonize black soil sana, but you can go to places where you have 1 foot 2 foot, which costs haitakuwa so different na other places. The thing I tell people to avoid ni hizo za 5 foot 6 foot. Hata ili chimbe kisima, there is someone I dug for a hole tukapata iko almost 6 foot, 5 foot plus kabla ufikie black cotton. So tukamwambia hiyo ni 6 foot. So unapata hiyo kabla ufikie mara, hiyo ni challenge. So kama hapa yeye aliangukia, so the moment aliangukia mara mapema, that means cost yake ilishuka in a very big way. So anyone mwenye anakuambianga nipatie quotation ya foundation nini, hakuna mtu anaweza kuwa na the real cost of a foundation, cause unless anajua all factors ata meet hapo kwa ground, unless you can determine all those factors. Foundation is the tree. Mambo ya walling, it's easy to come up with a quotation. Mambo ya roofing, juu factors it means kuna factors hazita change, but flooring huku chini factors are very different, and unapata grau zote ziko tofauti. Unaweza kuwa na shamba hapa na neighbor yako na zote ziko so different, na cost zako zitakuwa very different hata kama the design is the same. So guys, when it comes to floor ama foundation, hii floor ya kwanza na foundation, I don't think there is someone anaweza kupatia a real figure of the cost of foundation.
After this, tulifanya blinding, which is simply a mixture of ballast, sand and cement, and this is poured directly into the trench. This doesn't require any form of reinforcement because it's simply to provide a flat and clean level to work with. After this, we did 3 courses of bush stones, and this is our footing for the foundation.
So I've watched this, I've tried to react to this video for some time, but kona tushida, and I've watched this video a few times, and one thing nafaa ku comment ni, as you can see, hii ni mawe ya 9 ametumia. Mimi ningetumia mawe ya 6. Umeelewa? So my cost of foundation ingekuwa cheaper than what he does. But in hapo mbele utakam kucheki the reason why alitumia mawe ya 9 na si ya 6. And the good thing about this guy is ana explain to the detail, and explain kabisa why he is doing this and why he is not doing this. So his cost hapa ilienda juu kidogo juu ya kutumia mawe 9, but there is a reason why anaitumia hata kama anajenga single level house, which utakam kujua baadaye, which is
we added rows of barbed wire in between the courses to prevent shifting.
So let's rudia hapo kidogo.
This doesn't require any form of reinforcement because it's simply to provide a flat and clean level to work with. After this, we did 3 courses of bush stones, and this is our footing for the foundation. We added rows of barbed wire in between the courses.
Now, hiyo sasa nilisema kutakuwa na tutofauti kidogo. History ya barbed wire na hoop iron, basically just use a hoop iron. And if uko umefinywa na budget sana, tumia chuma inajiita 6. The reason why is the savings are not as much as you. Unajua kuna tu savings tu twingine minimal. We are talking about a roll of barbed wire 610 meters. First of all, haijafika 610 meters. Na utainunua about 5k. Na yenye imefika 610 meters, trust you me, iko 5k. Iko almost 7-8k. Sahi at the current market levels, at the current market prices. So wenye wako halali, bei iko juu. Wenye hizi zingine zenye ziko bei chini hazijafika hiyo 480. So ukipiga hesabu hiyo 610 meters, unapata hoop iron unatumia 3. Na hoop iron 3 ama ni 7,500 because one is 2,500 currently. Na ukipiga hiyo hesabu unapata the saving is about 1,000 ama 2k max. Whereas the properties of a hoop iron imejengwa purposefully for this. Barbed wire ni kitu ya ku-fence. So guys, I would not advise anyone to use a hoop iron, a barbed wire in place of hoop iron. Tafadhali, just buy a hoop iron, na kama umefinywa na budget, I'll see it will also save you some amount of money, but all in all, it's minimal. Tumia chuma yenye inafaa because basically hoop iron itakusaidia kushikanisha ya mawe after every 2 course over 3 course. Na difference itakuwa the mob, and the reason why you use a hoop iron is to prevent cracks na kushika hiyo nyumba pamoja. Hiyo shifting, nasikia venye anasema shifting. The good thing is that I explain why anatumia barbed wire, but barbed wire is not for that purpose. Hoop iron is for that purpose,
to prevent shifting. This was left to cure for 48 hours, and we were lucky mvua ilikuwa inanyesha, so I didn't have to pay anyone kwenda kumwagilia maji. This was then backfilled with maram and compacted, and that's what the 2 tippers of maram we bought was for. We then placed a damp-proof membrane over the compacted maram, and after that tukakoroga slab. And because we didn't have an issue with black cotton soil, and our foundation is raised well above ground level, so we don't have an issue with water, we didn't have to use a BRC mesh, and because it's a single...
Thank you. Pendo. You're doing a good job bro. Hii explanation una explain vizuri the reason why kutumia BRC because hauna mashida za yani I have nothing more to add there because BRC by the way kuna watu kwa comment section unapatanga wanasema buda kutumia BRC hiyo nyumba iko mbaya nini but have you considered the reason why it's not being used and can you see that compact maram vizuri na ametumia ako ka compaction machine have you considered all that hajatumia ile kivoi ku compact ametumia that good so the nini na amemwagilia maji pia so hiyo mara ilienda chini iliweza ku compact pole kidogo juu hiyo alimesema kulikuwa kunanyesha plus sasa aka compact na hiyo machine have you considered all those aspects that are kuna advantage ya that so BLC mesh hiyo one BLC mesh is 22k sai 24k and then you save almost anahitaji 2 to 3 for this let's go with 2 BLC mesh hizo ni 44k amesave hiyo ni roli mzima ya Darugo bana
single level structure. We are not worried about the floor shifting or collapsing. And for those worried about the strength of the floor, roads are built using compacted maram and zinabebanga malori na collapse. And that's how we were able to do our foundation for about 200,000 when someone else spent about 700,000 for the same.
Okay. We added one more course to increase internal headroom and ceiling height. Yeah, please do 11 courses for a bungalow headroom, 3 meters works. Better when you will be doing internal finishes like ceiling chandeliers in TC. Wow, thanks for the insight, Martin. This means taller windows and doors which are costlier, but I still be within budget since we saved on the foundation and walling. You see, pengine akipiga foundation cost yake alikuwa ameona ataenda feet kama 3. Alienda feet 2. So hiyo 1 foot peke yake ilimsavia do. So that money ndo anainted ku transfer to the windows because na yeye ameongezea another. No, nice thinking. The thinking process yake iko sawa, iko juu kabisa. Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Najua watu wengi wanangoja kuona mjengo wangu ukikosolewa, but the truth is, a single level 3 bedroom like mine can be built without columns. In fact, under the right conditions and with a solid foundation, you can build up to 3 floors without a column. To akutishia watu na chuma without any facts on the table are the reasons most Kenyans believe they can't own a home. A competent contractor should be able to work with a client's budget, and they should be able to look at what works for a specific location. Na kama client ana pesa ya chuma, if the first thing they do is dismiss you and they are clearly solutions that could apply to your case, then it shows incompetence on their part. Every structural engineer knows there's such a thing as load-bearing walls, and if it works for your specific location, then they should be able to advise you. You can even build a house that goes beyond 1 level without columns, and there are steps you can take to maintain the structural integrity of your building. For example, using blocks that are at least 9 inches wide, making sure...
So, you remember nilikwambia anatumia mawe ya 9 huko chini. Hii Darugo I guess ni 6 but Darugo inaweza kudanganya kwa picha. Perhaps you can clarify that kama hata iwachi video, but I'm saying ndio analitumia mawe ya 9 huko chini ni kumpatia the option ya kujenga another floor juu atakuwa na a road bearing wall. Ukitumia mawe 6 itakuwa haiwezi beba hiyo weight ya nini, so hiyo weight ya another floor juu. But mawe ya 9 inaweza kubebea inaweza kubeba hiyo weight, so that's a road bearing wall. So that na explain vizuri sana. So na ukiangalia when at the end utarealize ali opt, it's something pengine ilikuwa kwa kichwa yake but hakuwa ameamua, but ali opt to have another floor on the side huko juu. Yeah.
That the floor plan for the upper floor is exactly the same as the ground floor, and maintaining the recommended distance between the walls so that your slabs don't sag. Nyumba inaweza jengwa bila columns na ikuwe stronger than a house done with columns simply because of the incompetence of the contractor. And if you have a structural engineer who believes that a house can't be built without columns, then arudi shule arudishiwe school fees yake. Kenyans have this mentality where they believe everything can be fixed with money. That's why utaona watu wakiwika chuma without really evaluating the need for hizo chuma. And that person will tell you a house built on a rock is stronger because they put ribber on the foundation sitting on the rock. I personally believe if you can't build a cheap house, then you're not competent enough to build an expensive house.
Very true, very true.
Houses used to be affordable and our parents built houses this way that are still standing. I remember close to 15 years ago when my mom was building, we spent about 600,000 and that house was habitable, ilibaki tu zile za kumaliza polepole. But nowadays with this breed of contractors, someone tells you if you want a 4-bedroom kuja umeshika 8 million kwa mkono. Some of the honest fundis who built for our parents walikuwa wanatembea mguu and they were known by everyone and recommended for the good work they did. But nowadays every foreman drives a Ford Raptor juu ya zile pesa za chuma wameibia ma client.
Sawa Pedro, umeingia watu bra. Yo, umeingia watu kabisa. Wow. Now, finally to go one step away from roofing and we are going for hidden roof. My name is people who follow my channel know that I'm not for hidden roofs at all. But this is why I can't argue with this guy again. Sawa, tunaraukia kesho kama kawaida kutoa formwork tuendelee. Okay, don't go. So kuna mtu amemwambia don't go for hidden roof ni shida. Pitch roof is the best unless it's a temporary solution. Okay, hidden roof, you know they are cheap, hazitubii mbao mingi nini. So, Pedro, this is his explanation. This is going to be the most important step. Because most roofing experts in Kenya get hidden roofs and 90% rig, not 90-95% rig. Saa hii nimepigia simu kama 3. Watu wamewatch kutoka mvua ianze na iko na 1 week kutoka mvua ianze. Moja, even the mom was almost electrocuted kwa nyumba juu maji iliingia. Na ni nyumba mpya haijakaa 1 year. This is the second in the season na sasa inaingia na ameniambia since kuwe mpya amekuwa akipigana na maji since day 1 kutoka watoke hivi walianza kupigana na si tule to drops to misumari ni maji like unajua ukikosa waterproofing mabati sometimes inaletanga issues especially mkipigia huko kwa misumari ukose kuweka tule to rubbers but I'm not saying those tule to droplets I'm saying like flows of water so na ni 95 plus but Pendo anasema I've done a lot of research and consultation and we'll get it right at a fraction of the cost. Now this is something mimi sina solution and if this guy is willing to give us a solution is okay but now hakutimiza hii Kenya alikuwa ametuambia because he later changed the design of the house as utakuja kuona which I think alisave do na akachange the design then the design will be for the benefit especially for hiyo nusu so hana hidden roof side zote mbili atakuwa na hidden roof only at one corner na hiyo maji itakuwa inamwaga kwa hiyo aliweka slab kwa another one half of the house so hiyo maji itakuwa inamwaga kwa slab inaenda nje so history ya hidden roof he had some solutions which you can see here but hakutitimiza but I would like to see that hata naweza taka kumtafuta atupatia proper solution ya hii story juu niambio nitafute solution mimi si ni engineer so this hii ndo one of the solutions alikuwa anasema ni mweke you see weke hii formwork hii gata iwekwe kubwa na ya concrete so that's true it solve one problem hidden roofs have many problems which I've highlighted it solve only one problem hiyo shit yenye tunawekanga kwa hidden roof ikicollect uchafu you rust inaanza kuleak maji na inakuwa heavy sometimes hata ina drop now ukiweka this hii slab ya gata ya slab yani concrete gata what will happen is mambo ya kurust na nini imeisha and then ameiweka ikiwa kubwa So that was basically the idea before kuja ongeze flow, so maji inaingia inamwagika vizuri. But now my question is, what about huku juu? Ni venye utarefusha ikuwe juu kabisa, ama what was the solution? So that is something I would have loved to see amefanya, but hakumalizia. Na anaweza taka kujua how he wanted to achieve that. I would like him to share videos so to do that. Yeah. Watu wangu wa precast wanaingiwa.
So if you've been following me, you know I'm currently in the process of building a 3-bedroom for less than 1.6 million. And in my last video,
acha turudi hapo muone watu wangu wa precast wakiingiwa. Ni ile nyumba ilijengwa na yule mjamaa alikuwa anaitwa Amos Kibaro. So I was foreign a 3-bed precast house smaller than mine, and by the time wafike rente they had spent around 700k with their own labor versus yangu 500k, everything inclusive, nothing more. Sinaona si mimi tu.
So if you've been following me, you know I'm currently in the process of building a 3-bedroom for less than 1.6 million. And in my last video, you were supposed to get started on the roofing, and we had spent 592,000. And for those wondering, that's the cost of everything, including labor and materials. The next step is doing the slab, and I thought I'd give you an insight of how my planning looks like. So one thing about building an affordable house is you have to do a lot of planning.
Amen.
For the slab, I'd already done the costing, and I spent the whole day sourcing for materials. And after
so hapa ndo alichange concept from kujenga hidden roof both sides, akajenga hidden roof one side, slab the other side. So alibadilisha concept yake all in all.
In round, I spent 94,000 on everything that we're going to need for the slab. I normally buy materials for every face, and this is to
na angenunua materials kasa hivi venye chuma na dora imeshuka, ingekuwa about 80 something. Materials imeshuka hizi simiti tu ndo haijashuka. D10 kasa hii D10 hapa angesave 140, hata ni D10 inaingia na 9-10 shillings, so angesave 240 bob to 30 bob per piece, na hizo ni 30 pieces. Unaona angesave domo. D8 hizo 5 pieces angesave kama saa iko 6 watt iko kama 150 ama 120 hapo. So D12 ni 4 pieces angesave kama saa iko 1400 to 50, hiyo ni dhao. Ukipiga utu tuhesabu tu wote angefikisha almost 88k.
avoid wastage, and all the materials that remain at the end of the face are carried forward to the next face. So right now we have some materials kama mchanga, and that's why unaona sijaandika hapo. The whole process for the slab is going to take 4 days, and I've already calculated how much is going to be spent on labor, and we also have a plan.
Naona ile gata ile yani iko na kushu, but sasa atakuja hapa mwisho hii pande inamaliza huko, atakuja yake another floor. Now that hiyo sasa, and then apandishe hao ingine. Yeah.
And for what is to be done by the end of each day. I've also scheduled the transport in such a way that zile materials zote nimelipia zinafika site ile siku inahitajika kutumika. So I've already had a meeting with everyone, and I've already designated what everyone is going to do. So from tomorrow, everyone wakes up and goes to work knowing what they are going to do. Without proper planning like this, a slab like this will cost you no less than 200,000. But since I've already cut off everyone mwenye angekulia pesa katikati, the slab is going to cost less than 140,000 for everything, including materials and labor. And due
kuna mtu sema failing to plan is planning to fail. So basically,
to the cost-cutting design that we implemented, you'll see it's also cheaper to do a slab on one half of the house because we already have so many beams, and there are lots of load-bearing walls, and this was designed intentionally via the placement of the rooms, so this will minimize.
So sijui which half anataka kuweka hiyo wall, but if I'm not wrong, anataka kuweka ako ka wall hapa, ako ka slab juu ya hizi 2 bedrooms, because you can see these 2 walls zinaendanisha. I would not think ataweka kwa hii side ya juu ya master, na hii bedroom ndogo, because sasa hii weight itabebwa na nini, but anyway he can share for us
the number of beams that we need to add. There's however a change of design from the initial plan, which was a hidden roof for the whole house. So that means kuna ile course moja yenye iko juu ya beam tutabomoa yote. We'll also do a 5-foot wide slab that will act as a walkway from the other slab to the slab on the porch, and this is to increase the area of the rooftop. After this, we'll only be left with a small portion ya kuweka mabati, and this means after the slab roofing, the remaining portion should cost us only around 100,000. So wale wote walikuwa wanasema acha tufike roofing, pesa yote itaenda. I'm waiting to see what you'll say at the end of the week when you realize you'll only spend about 250,000 on the slab and the roof. Total at that point will be about 850,000, meaning we'll still have 750,000 to spend.
850k so far. That's the last update alimake ya do, alikuwa ametumia 850k. Slab alishamaliza, as you can see alimaliza kare ka slab. Wow, that's awesome man, Pedro, all the best man. So I have so many questions anauza kanini kake, which is awesome So you can go and buy the plan with the measurements for the house which is that's a good idea. Now my guy Pedro here amepatiana hao saiko 850 amemaliza half of the roofing because ya hiyo slab alieka. So by the time anamaliza roofing atakuwa 950, and his budget is, because amesema atatumia another extra 100k for the other roof. So I think with 1.6 kuenda kumaliza nyumba, it will be a huge challenge, but seems he already has plans na ways of how to do it, because ile safari amebakisha ndo ngumu. But it does not mean it's impossible. It's very possible. It's very, very, very possible kumaliza na hiyo 1.6. First of all, hawa yake ni kubwa. Amenibamba sana venye hizo designs ametake na hizo steps. So all the best Pendo. But I would like to know what utafanya juu ya madirisha, plastering, kin, ama what cost cuttings ideas uko nazo ikikam to kikam kwa nini inaitangwa aje history ya she might be biodigester all those ama are they not included in that, because I see a big challenge especially pale kwa plumbing. Electricals nimeona umeweka, but hizo ni pipings haujaweka wiring for this house. I know cost yake haitakuwa rahisi, so I'm just wondering the total costs kama uta manage na 1.6, but I won't argue ama I won't, so far so good. Siwezi sema buda utamaliza, no, so far so good, but wacha tutaona with 650 ukimaliza roofing 650 can it because kama itakuwa 650 madirisha peke yake zipati na milango zangu zilikuda 50k, zako zitakuda about 120. Kuna ceilings, kuna plumbing, kuna choo, kuna soap pit, kuna okay. This is something interesting. I want to see how you do it. Yeah, we are here for the journey. I react on that. So Pendo, if you watch this, by the way, comment, reply some of the questions. Naweza taka kujua kwa nini ulitumia barbed wire and your idea on that, and also the planning stages. Yeah, umenibamba wewe, but all the best. Sitasema uwezi maliza, I can't argue with that. You can't argue with facts. So guys, thank you everyone for watching. I really appreciate your time, and cheers, bye.